Welcome to the Cuse Militia podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please subscribe. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice. And today we have a little treat for you. Cooper Dawson is going to come on to talk Syracuse football. Many of you know him from his signing day moment that went viral. We'll maybe touch on that a little bit, but I want to get into the football aspect of this because if you're not watching some of the highlight reels from some of these recruits that are coming in, because that's like the first thing Joe and I do is check their highlight reel out. And I know highlight reels are meant to impress. I know that's why they're put together, but they can't be put together if they're not impressive. So, with that said, I would, I would recommend you go check out his highlight reel because he seems like he's a really nice kid. He was very generous with his time. I want to thank him again for that. I'll probably do that 5 more times. But he's a kind kid. He's got a good heart, and he's got a lot of integrity. And he's got great character. His parents should definitely be proud of that. But when he straps his helmet on, you can forget about it. So I thought that having a little discussion would be fun. I was tipped off by a listener and friend. He's just become a friend of the show, a talented kid, Giovanni Heater. He's got a show called Orange Heat. It's a YouTube show. You can check that out. He is a 15-year-old. I would almost call him a phenom. Just a great kid. And another one whose parents should be proud because Giovanni is one hell of a kid. And we appreciate him interacting with us early goings of the show when we finally decided to get on Twitter. So anyways, I digress. Because I've got to tell you about Tix Blitz. Now, Tix Blitz, there's a couple great things about Tix Blitz, okay? First of all, they are the official ticket provider of the Armchair Media Network, and that is where Joe and I cover Syracuse basketball and football for. So we appreciate Armchair Media Network taking care of us, so we're going to take care of them. Now, there's some things with buying tickets online that there's a sticker shock at the end. You buy the ticket, you see the price, it's $35. By the time you're in your cart checking out, you're up to like $50. Well, look, Tix Blitz does not add any of those extra fees. They don't have unexplained service charges. The price you see at Tix Blitz is the price you pay. Unnecessary fees and extra charges and this, that, and the other shouldn't prevent you from seeing the sporting event or concert that you want to go see. So go to tixblitz.com and enter the promo code armchair at checkout to get 5% off your total ticket purchase. That's TIXBLITZ.com, promo code armchair to get that 5%. And remember, Tix Blitz equals guaranteed seats, guaranteed emotions. So without further ado, Cooper Dawson. Some of us know him from his impressive highlight reel, but we all know him from his viral signing day moment with his friend Kingsley Feynman. Syracuse football class of 2019 recruit Cooper Dawson joins the Cuse Militia podcast. Cooper, thanks for being so generous with your time and coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So it's been a whirlwind for you since signing day. I'm sure you've been really busy and, what a great time to be a Syracuse fan. And you're coming in right at the right time. I mean, I'm sure you know that, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like we're only going up from the spot.
Yeah. So, So let's do the basic mundane thing first. Everybody's got to ask, or maybe they don't, but I do. What are you going to go major in while you're at Syracuse University?
Yeah. So I was thinking about majoring in business and then minoring in communications. And hopefully I'll have time to get my MBA since I'll be there over the summer and have plenty of time to take a bunch of courses.
That's all. Great communication school.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no doubt.
They could have a Hall of Fame just in communications alumni there. So take us through some of your experience in the recruiting process and Babers, and I know you made a visit, and we'll get into that in a minute. But just for people who don't know, briefly the process of recruitment.
Yeah, so Syracuse actually, we had talked months before signing day, and they told me that they were interested, and they just wanted to talk more and let things work out. So they came by and visited the school a couple times because they had me and Mikey Dukes, who's a recruit. He's a running back for the school First Baptist, which is only about 30 minutes down the road.
Oh, okay.
So they came to see me and him a bunch, probably 2 or 3 times before they had even offered. And, they wanted to make sure my ACL was recovering properly and that it wouldn't affect my play going into college. And so I got to know the coaches really well. And, I'm a Southern boy, so I've only seen snow once or twice in my life. And, I was in for a shock when I went up on my official visit because it was snowing the whole time, and I loved it though. It's real pretty, and I didn't expect much. I've been a Clemson fan since I was as long as I can remember.
Really?
And so yeah.
Well, I
I've been
figured
a Clemson fan all my life. Yep.
That's awesome. But personally on the Babers on Babers, because if you don't know already, he has captured the heart of Syracuse. Fans in the city we love Coach Babers. The hashtag Pay Babers went around pretty much all year this football season. So on a personal level, how is he? Is he as awesome as he seems?
I'd say he's more than expected. A lot of people have asked me, and I tell them that they remind me of the Clemson coaching staff because that's who I grew up knowing, and they're just so close, and they hold each other to really high expectations, and they hold each other accountable. They're really close, like family. And so Coach Babers, he does this one thing that I like. On Sundays, he holds his meetings later in the day so that everybody can go to church and take care of things that they need to. So Sunday meetings, he says, all right, everybody stand up if you called somebody this morning and you told them you loved them, or if you went to church. And if you don't, he calls you out and makes sure that you do it next week.
That's awesome. But that's great insight because I don't know. I haven't heard that. So I'm not even sure who else has heard that. That's awesome. Well, we love Babers, and you fit right in. You were talking about kind of like the family atmosphere and just judging off of your signing day thing, I'm sure you probably didn't think it was going to be that big, but it ended up being huge. You touched the heart of millions of people and every Syracuse fan that's seen it. I remember that day when it came out, and I threw it up on social media, and it just went off. So Babers is very much attracted to that type of personality. It's that type of attitude and kind of humbleness that he's looking for, and that's how he's building this team. So now you got to go in the Dome? Did you get to check the Dome out?
I did. I actually went to the Syracuse versus Georgetown basketball game.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game to go to.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a last-second buzzer beater.
Yeah, with Tyus doing his thing, as we all know. Yeah. So, a lot of teams don't have a dome. I think there's 9 D1 teams that have some sort of arena, but no one really has a dome. You didn't get to see it set up as a football field then, right? You only got to see it as the basketball court?
Yeah, I only got to see the basketball, so I'm looking forward to football season.
Yeah, it's cool, though. You'll enjoy that. We talked about you were a Clemson fan, and I kind of wondered about that, but you had some offers besides Syracuse, UCF, Clemson out of the ACC, and Wake Forest out of the ACC. So what made you choose Syracuse?
Yeah, so I had offers for 6 different positions: outside linebacker, defensive end, D tackle, nose guard, tight end, and offensive tackle. And my heart's always wanted to play defensive end, so Syracuse offered me for the position that I wanted to play. They run a 4-3 defense, which is the defense that I feel like I'd fit in most. And I always said that I wanted to go somewhere that wanted me as much as I wanted them, and the coaching staff did a great job with doing that.
Well, all right. So that was kind of what sold it on you. It's a scheme that you feel like you fit into the best, and coaches and staff willing to work with you and get you fired up into that. So
Yeah, they did a great job recruiting.
did they? Okay, well, that's very promising for Syracuse fans because it's been tough. It's been a rough go. And like I said, Babers, the future with Babers at Syracuse is bright. And it's clear. But with him at the helm, exciting the fans, I mean, how pumped are you just to be a part of these next 4 years under what I think is going to be the Babers legacy for sure?
Yeah, no, I feel like our personalities are definitely gonna clash with each other because I seem like a really good guy, but when I get on the field, I like to get excited, and so I feel like our personalities are going to represent each other really well.
Yeah, you do seem like a humble, chill guy. But I've watched your tape, and for anybody who hasn't, maybe they want to. You'd like to whip. You're a jersey grabber. You like to just ragtag people. It seems there's a lot of whipping people down by their jersey in your highlight reels. What's that?
I like slamming them. Yeah, it's weird. If I can get them on my fingertips, they're not going anywhere.
I noticed. So, well, then I would have. So you'd rather, because you were part of your recruiting on 247 is usually how we monitor our recruits. Joe and I for the show. We go to a couple places, but that's a go-to, especially for me. They had you listed as a tight end at first, and I think they eventually changed it. So, would you rather be catching passes and running people over, or would you just like to just ragdoll guys? What do you like?
If I could do them both, I'd love to, but defensive end is always going to be the number one.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of, we have some really top-notch talent at Syracuse right now in Alton Robertson, Kendall Coleman, Kingsley Jonathan. Now, playing under these guys and getting to watch them, what are you hoping to learn? Since you're already familiar with like the kind of defensive scheme and everything, what are you hoping to learn from those seniors from next year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing under them, practice under them. I feel like they have a lot to teach me, and hopefully they're accepting of new guys. I went up there and everybody seemed like, the seniors who had gotten recruited by the old coaching staff were all friends with the freshmen and everything. So everybody seemed really tight. But I really want to learn from their explosiveness, and hopefully they can give me that mentality in the weight room as well.
Yeah, exactly. With the training, and I'm sure they're going to be accepting. That's how it is. That's how Babers setting this whole thing up. La mi familia. I mean, it's you said, it's the atmosphere that is being put forth there at Syracuse inside that locker room and otherwise. So, do you know? I know Kingsley is going to be coming to a game next year, right? I guess Coach Babers is going to get him to a game. Do you know which one it's going to be, by any chance?
Yeah, we get to pick, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Clemson game. We're just trying to figure out when the date and the time is for 100% sure.
Is Kingsley a Clemson Tigers fan as well?
No, he was a USC Trojan fan.
Oh, really?
His dad went there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's a Syracuse fan now.
That's right. That's what we like to hear. So,
oh yeah.
I know you've gotten a ton of questions about that whole signing day thing, and we've all heard it all. But just, I mean, how awesome is it to just bring joy to someone like Kingsley like that, on a moment like that he's never going to forget that. Now, you will never forget it either, but you probably won't ever be able to feel the way he felt about that, about letting him announce that you were going to be going to Syracuse. That was the best part when he announced, and then the whirlwind after that. And I mean, the kid is all smiles all the time, and just, I mean, real quick, how does it feel to just give him that kind of sense of, friendship and everything like that?
Yeah, he was actually with me throughout the recruiting process. Whenever I had a coach on the phone, I'd try to ask him to talk to Kingsley. So I felt like, if there was anybody more involved in the recruiting process than him, it was me. So he knew everything that was going on, and I saw an opportunity to be selfless, so I took it. And I originally just
was going to bring him up there and just have him there. I was going to make the announcement, and then, I went up there and rolled with it and told him he was going to do it. And so he said, okay. And he said it so clean. I couldn't have been more proud of him, because sometimes he struggles to get his sentences out, but he couldn't have done any better.
No, he did it great. And I loved your Fox and Friends interview, if you remember. He just was struggling a little bit, and I could tell you wanted to help him, and you asked him, you want me to help you out? And he's like, no, I got it. Then he said, he was like, no, I got it, clear as day, as he's trying to struggle what he was going to say. But when you tried to intervene, he was like, no, I got it. So
yeah, no, he's a ball, but he can, he'll stick up for himself. He'll say what he wants to.
That's awesome. And just a great friendship that's going to be just propelled to the next level with you going to Syracuse. It's going to be great to watch. So we talked about the snow. You got to really get prepared for that, because it's going to suck eventually. It looks really pretty. It's growing up in Syracuse. It looks pretty at first. Every year to us, it looks pretty too. Eventually, it becomes a hassle. So get ready for that. But you were number 14 in high school, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite number? Is that your favorite number, and why?
I do have a favorite number, but it's 15 because of Tim Tebow.
Oh,
our
okay.
Our high school did not have 15. So, we didn't have 15 in baseball or football, so I've always gotten 14. But on my Syracuse visit, I did have number 15, and they told me I could have any number I wanted as long as I worked for it. So, as long as nobody on defense has it, I plan on getting 15, but if I have to earn it, I might start off with 95 if I could get that. My dad had that when he played for Georgia Southern.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I too am a big Tebow fan. I always was, even when he played for Denver. I'm a Raiders fan. So,
yeah.
Just his attitude, and I think he got the shaft, to be honest with you, in the NFL, kind of. The media frenzy that followed him, I think, worked to his disadvantage, and unfortunately, people stopped giving him a shot. So that's my thoughts anyway. Do you have a favorite sports icon? I guess, is it Tim Tebow?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
And did you hear he's actually coming to the minor league team that's in Syracuse?
Yeah, he's playing for the Syracuse Mets, yeah.
Yeah, he was playing for the Columbia Fireflies or something, which is in South Carolina. So it's crazy.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I actually named my dog Tebow after him. He's 7 years old.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. All right. Well, all right. Yeah. One more quick question for you. What do you listen to get yourself pumped up before a game?
Right now, I'm into some Stevie Vai. There's no vocals, but it's straight guitar, and I really like classic rock. My dad's kind of embedded it into me, so I'm going through a Queen phase as well right now because they just came out with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But anything that'll get my adrenaline going. I'm not much into rap, but I really like classic rock.
I always liked to get me pumped up, man. Like, Metallica's kind of cliche, but like some Pantera, like 5 Minutes Alone or something like that. I understand the rap thing getting you pumped up. I really do, but something like double bass drums and heavy metal guitar and someone screaming that really can fire you up, especially playing defense, right?
Yeah, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps right now. But no, Stevie Vai, the audience is listening. I picked up on that recently, and I can't even drive with it because I get too excited.
You definitely want to keep it in between the lines, Cooper.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, dude. Well, listen. As we've said more than once on this show, when we've talked about you and we've talked about others, that character matters. And it's important to point it out when we see it, Cooper, and you have it, and we wish you all the best. So keep being you, bro. Stay humble. And again, thanks for being so generous with your time, and thanks for coming on. And good luck in an orange uniform, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too, man. Take care. So there you have it. If you like guitar, check out Stevie Vai upon Cooper Dawson's recommendations. And again, I want to thank him for coming on. I had a blast. I want to do more of these types of interviews. Joe, I'm gonna get Joe in on this, but Joe is like, I don't know. Joe's not big on the interview thing, so that's why I do them by myself. But Joe joins me now. because we're going to talk about some Syracuse football. Well, why you got to give me meat? Why you got to mean mug me, bro? What's up with that?
All right.
So we didn't ever talk about. Are we going to pick up where we left off?
I mean,
in the last show?
I'm just saying.
You're serious right now? Oh my gosh.
Sit there and you just talk trash while I can't sit there and defend myself. And then, okay.
All right, look, let's start over. So, thank you to Cooper Dawson. That was great. I'm going to do some more of these interviews. So, Joe joins us now. Joe?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. We didn't talk about the Syracuse football schedule at all yet, so I figured we'd take this opportunity to talk about it. A big game early. I look at this, and we're going to make our way too early predictions. So these don't count against our record, right? These are just, we're just spitballing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll do that at the end, I guess. But let's talk about this first. So we opened up against Liberty, which is great, at Liberty here in Lynchburg. It's about 3.5 hours from where I am. I was thinking about going to that. But
Me too.
But I was thinking about meeting you up at NC State because that's an away game. So
yeah, I got a couple of away games to worry about. That Duke is an away game as well.
Oh, that's right near you too.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's going to be decision time for me come football season. So, well, let's look. You got Liberty, Maryland away, and then the big one. The third game of the season, Joe, we're home against Clemson. Do you think an early game against Clemson helps us out? Or would you rather see a game that big against the defending national champions maybe be mid to late season? What do you think?
Probably doesn't help us out as much. It's tough because you never know with injuries and stuff like that. If it's like a mid to late season game, then who knows if where we are depth wise with the attrition and everything as far as just injuries happen. So again, I mean, depending on how fast we can kind of come together as an offense with Dungy and the defense with some of the guys are missing. We got 2 away games to kind of, and obviously all off season, spring and summer camp and fall camp and stuff, but we have all that to kind of get ready for it. So, again, Clemson is turning into a beast, and they're obviously the cream of the crop when it comes to the ACC. So, realistically, it probably doesn't matter when we play them. And we really won't know if it's a good or a bad thing till the season happens anyway.
Right, and
it was a good thing for us last year.
Right, and people can get injured and all the spring stuff that happens, and so there's tons of variables. I'm kind of with you, but I honestly lean on the side of having Tommy DeVito in there and only getting two away games. I don't know, because you can toss it up either way, but I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to stick with my gut. Having Tommy DeVito in there, take control of this team, and being only his third game against the defending national champions, I think it's going to be a definite test, and we will see. Yeah, we will see what he could do in some of the worst case scenarios, besides being in the dome.
Oh, it'll be interesting.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and they're going to give it a go. We talked about it in the last podcast about how we just don't think that. At least I don't. I mean, I think our team, we're not afraid of Clemson. I mean, we're starting to get that winning culture, and we've played Clemson so tight that I think our players aren't starstruck by them. So. Again, Clemson's probably going to want to come in and try to prove something next year, especially with Trevor Lawrence and stuff. But, I guess really one of the better things, too, is if we can start off 2-0, we may be preseason ranked. If we're start off 2-0, we probably will be ranked. And with them coming in, who knows if they're going to be preseason 1 or not, but I can't imagine they won't be. So, that might set up for early season first time college game day.
Yeah, right. I was just going to go there. So there's the possibility of that. We don't know what time the game is yet, obviously. We just got the schedule. Right. But then after that, we stay home against Western Michigan. And,
winnable.
Holy Cross, home.
Should win. Must win. Right.
NC State, Ryan Finley's gone, right?
Yeah, Ryan Finley's gone. They're probably going to be losing some of their best wide receiver as well. So they're going to be a team looking for a new, signal caller. So again, that's they're going to have to answer a bunch of questions too. So we're playing them semi-early in the season, so that's not really a bad situation. I know it's a away game, but
it is an away game, but that is right after a bye week. The first bye week of the season comes right after Holy Cross.
Right, and don't get me wrong, they've been recruiting well. They do have talent down here, but again, when you were replacing a quarterback that's been like that, starter for so many years, you never know what you're going to see or expect. So,
and then from there we go. That's an away game against NC State. We come home.
Where's our bye?
The first bye, like I just said, is right after Holy Cross.
Okay,
in between Holy Cross and yeah. So before we go to face the Wolfpack, we have a bye. So we get 2 weeks there to rest up, and we'll probably need it after 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
So then after NC State, we come home against Pitt. It'll be nice to get Pitt in the Dome. I think that gives us a huge edge. Joe?
Winnable. Yeah. I mean, right. I think we're going to be waiting to kind of get back to them.
Right. Now, the tough one. After Pitt, then we go face Florida State at their place. And besides the raucous crowd, we kind of, I don't know. I don't know where Florida State is going to be next year.
There's not so many people that do.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation there, isn't it?
Well, they got talent, but if they can put it together, that's really the question.
Right, and that works to their advantage. Them playing us, the 8th game of the season.
Yeah.
So later in the season, past halfway, they've maybe got some things figured out, and that probably works to their advantage. Then
one that scares me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we come back home against Boston College, and that is, I think it's a winnable game. I don't really know, but we kind of smoked them. So
well, they had some injuries.
I know,
and stuff.
but we still smoked them, though. I mean, I'm not saying they can't come to our house and beat us, but you look at the Clemson game, and that's a really tough one. But when you look at the rest of the home games, I mean, they're decent. It's
all winnable.
Yeah, Clemson's gonna be tough, but other than that, yeah. So after BC, then we go to Durham to face Duke, and I think
it's another tricky one.
Yeah, it's another tricky one. Yeah. So
they're losing their quarterback, and when they didn't have their quarterback, they're going to be a team that's going to try to.
And we lost ours too. So to be fair,
Yeah, they're going to be a team that's going to try to. Well, when they didn't have theirs, they struggled. I think there's a lot of teams that would have rather had our quarterback situation this year than they had this year. But with Daniel Jones being gone, they're going to have to replace the quarterback, and who knows really what you're going to see. You don't know if you're going to end up seeing an athletic quarterback that runs a little. Quarterback option. Usually their defense is pretty formidable. They kind of remind me of our defense as far as they can get turnovers and they can get stops, but they do allow big plays from time to time. So again, an away game as well. So you never know. Sneaky one, but again, you never know with these teams that are replacing so many people in key positions. So.
Yeah, and the second bye is in between, by the way. I missed it again. Sorry, folks. Is in between Boston College and Duke. So we've got.
Well, that'll be good. We'll be coming off a bye going to Duke. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming off a bye and going to away games. That actually works out pretty good, I think. I like that. So then we play Louisville in Louisville. Can they turn it around that fast? It'll be a whole season almost. Just about.
Again, it's a team with talent.
Yeah.
But they were so far away last year. I just don't know.
I know, but this is a late season
Didn't they get rid of their coach too?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so it's a rebuild. It's going to be at Louisville, yes, but by that point in the year, it might be, you don't know where Louisville is going to be at the end of the year. So if they're down and out, not playing very well, then that home field advantage really might not matter because the fans might not be there. So,
and then we come back home for the final game of the season. The final game of the season is going to be at home, which is really cool. So we get senior night, last game of the season. I think that's awesome. And that is against Wake Forest. So we'll have all year to get our run defense fired up because They're pretty much one-dimensional, although they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Leading the country and rushing all the time. So,
they know what they want to do. So, again, another team where you really don't know if it's any account of what it's been the past couple of years. Then Wake Forest will probably be either fighting for their 6th win or right there with 6 wins. Trying to get a better bowl game. So that depending on where we are. But again, that's just one we can't really sleep. Almost kind of like Boston College. So, but 2 home games with the dome and with the attendance I think we're going to get next year. I think we should be able to win those games. So
fired up, and we'll see. Yeah. We'll see where the chips fall. But I'm really excited about football. I'm probably more excited about this upcoming football season than I have been in, a decade. So
yeah, and I'm worried because I just think that because of this year, people are going to bump up a lot of expectations. We didn't lose a lot of guys, but we lost a lot of key guys. There's a lot of big questions that need to be answered, and I still wouldn't.
Mostly on defense too. So.
I still wouldn't bump up my expectations, even with the easier non-conference and just overall conference schedule. I just wouldn't I still wouldn't have it to expect to have 10 wins. I wouldn't expect that. So
okay, well, you're way too early. Preseason prediction. What is it?
Well, looking at it, I think going into this year is the least amount of automatic losses. I think going into the season the past couple of years, you've looked at about 2 or 3, maybe 4 games sometimes where you didn't expect to win, and this year, I'm looking at probably just Clemson. And even then, we've played them pretty good, but that's just the one team that I would come in and say, I don't really expect to win. I think the next most difficult game, like you said, is probably going to be Florida State away, most likely.
Those are my two.
What's that?
Those are my 2 that I'm worried about the most as well. So I think it's probably pretty clear to everybody.
Right. But it doesn't mean that, that game is not winnable at the same time. Games like Wake Forest at home, Boston College at home, at Duke, Pittsburgh at home, those games all kind of are, if we don't show up, they're very winnable, but if we don't show up, we could lose those games as well, And again, just based upon history and how we usually play, I would expect to probably lose one of those anyway. So, looking at it honestly, I would say my way too early prediction, I would go, not to be overly, optimistic, I'd say, and looking at that, God, it's just so much easier than the past couple of years. I got to say 9-3.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not too far off from me. I'm an optimist at heart, and I think since I can't be held to this way too early prediction, right? I can't be. I'm not on record. Is this
I don't think
record?
Either of us can.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm gonna go 10-2. It looks like to me. I mentioned the 2 games that worry me, and I put it this way. I'm sticking with my 10-2, but put it this way. This is how I see it. We can win, and I know you can say this about anything. Well, they can any given Sunday, any given Saturday. And we can win every single one of these games. So,
yeah.
And I'm not saying we're going to go. I'm not saying we're going to. I'm just saying we can. I'm just saying that I think we can be competitive enough, and I think Coach will have them ready. I think these games are winnable. Barring anything catastrophic, and Clemson's going to be tough. That's all.
Well, yeah, Clemson's going to be tough, but a lot of other games are going to be a lot tougher if we're not as shored up as we think we are, like the offensive line or the quarterback position, or the linebacker position.
Going by what Baber says, the offensive line specifically, he's commented on that it's probably going to be pretty decent. So my worry is at linebacker. My worry is at linebacker, and we'll just have to see. But
how bad Chris Slayton being gone affects the defensive line.
Oh yeah,
and if DeVito can step up, there's really only 4 pressing issues, and if we can get 3 of them answered, then we should be okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. We will see.
But yeah, like you said, I wouldn't looking at the schedule and the way that the teams are still trying to figure it out, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we went 10-2, 11-1.
I mean, don't you think 10-2 is? I know it could be overly optimistic, but is it out of the realm of possibilities knowing what we know now? With the question really at linebacker, which is huge. Don't get me wrong. I understand that.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I think it's really big. I think Chris Slayton didn't get as much attention, from the media and stuff like that. He obviously got attention on the football field,
right,
without a doubt. But
exactly.
Between him and our linebackers finally figuring it out, that was a big part of being able to stop that run that was kind of hurting us earlier in the season, especially against Pittsburgh. If we can't figure that out, teams are going to be able to run against us. So
right, that
could pose a problem, and that's how teams beat us with the speed. And especially, I think we could be faster. I think that this year we could be faster, getting up to the line and just DeVito just picking people apart, boom, boom, hitting them with a run play.
I mean, if he can learn how to shred them and he gets the protection, he has the accuracy.
Yeah, and that's what Babers still wants to do. It's just going to be a little bit different of play calling because of Dungy and stuff. Right. I think because how Dungy was so effective, I think that there's going to be more pass plays, So, sure. And he's got a stronger arm, so that's what I'm expecting. And, to slow that down is basically to take away the possessions from us and to run against us. And we play against the Pittsburghs and the Wake Forests that do it anyway. But then other teams that are less, that are not as good as you, or maybe not less talented, they're going to just show up and try to, like Duke's going to try to do that against us, just pound the ball, shorten the game.
Right. Yep.
So those are just, we're going to have to win, to learn how to beat teams like that. And there's definitely a lot of winnable games. Let's put it this way. This past year, I think we could have went 7-5 and people probably would have been happy, but it ended up being a very out of the blue year. Now this is going to set expectations. If we go 7-5 with this schedule, it was a bad year.
Yeah, right, I would agree.
It still would be like, I mean, if we don't make a bowl game, then something really, 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 really bad, like something's going on.
And I'm not trying to be like overly dramatic or overly positive, but I don't think. I mean, it would have to be something catastrophic to not make a bowl game, in my opinion.
Yeah, but, like I said, I think 7-5 is a bad season as far as I'm concerned, and that's just because of the teams that we play. Right. I mean, Liberty is just an up and coming D1 team. I think they've only been in Division I for a couple of years. Holy Cross is a D1 AA team. Western Michigan, a MAC school that, although they gave us a pretty good game, at Western Michigan, this next, at the Dome at home, we should be able to beat. And Maryland went 3-9 last year. So, again, it's on the road, but 2 weeks in, I mean, these are games we should go 4-0 non-conference. So, and then you look at some of the other struggles that some of these other teams have had trying to replace some of these quarterbacks. I mean, Louisville hasn't figured it out yet. And now you're going to get other teams that, like NC State, that's going to have to figure it out. So, like I said, Pitt will give us problems. Boston College will give us problems if they're both healthy. Florida State at home will give us problems. NC State, again, got to figure that out. But
Wake Forest could give us problems.
Yes. But, I mean, I just look at us as a better team. And, again, Dungy and company leaving on with a winning culture. I mean, these kids are they're ready to go and just even do better than what they did last year. So,
yep. All right. Well, we will see. And as soon as we can put together another football episode, we will. And I'm glad we were able to do this. I want to thank Tix Blitz. And right now I want to take time to thank MyBookie. If you're someone that likes to bet online, give MyBookie a try. If you've never bet online before, I'd research it before you do it, figure out what it's all about. But the NFL playoffs are pretty much over. We got the Super Bowl left. And if you want to get on some of that action, make sure you're ready by signing up at MyBookie. They pay fast when you win. Ownership really cares about good customer service, and they offer the craziest props. Where you bet on is just as important as who you're betting on. If you want to make money off this upcoming Super Bowl, you got 2 weeks. Go to MyBookie. I trust them, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check them out for yourself. Join now, and MyBookie will offer you a 50% deposit bonus to make sure you have a nice bankroll for that game. Use promo code CUES25 when you deposit to activate the offer. offer. That's promo code Cuse25 at my bookie. You play, you win, you get paid. I want to thank JP Mulligans. I want to thank you guys for listening. Cooper Dawson, thank you so much for coming on. That was really fun, and I hope to do more stuff like that. So that is all, folks. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Hey.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.